So these are the basic materials we're going to use to make our carnivorous plants, the minis. I got these from Michael's. Everything else here is from the dollar store. And you're going to need, various paints of different colors. At the dollar store, as a bonus, I bought a bag of eyeballs. And I want to make one carnivorous plant that is actually just an eyeball. So that'll be my bonus plant at the end. The dollar store does have some greenery, but theirs looks really brown and it kind of falls all over. So I would suggest getting the one from Michael's. It's an Ashland brand. So we have our styrofoam cutter, we have scissors, and I have a dual temp hot glue gun. Use the setting on low so it doesn't melt your styrofoam. Starting with our bucket, we're going to go ahead and pinch and take out the little handle because that kind of gets in the way. Okay, and we're going to cut our styrofoam ball in half. Okay, after we've cut our styrofoam in half, we have our bucket, and we're also going to grab a stone from the bag of stones that is a nice, round but slightly heavier one. It's going to fit right in the bottom. Okay, so we're going to glue that in. This is going to give it a little extra weight, so that way our plant isn't top heavy. Okay, so there it is. It's stuck in there. The next step is we're going to go ahead and put hot glue around the edge, slightly in the lip, so that way when we put the styrofoam in, it'll stay there. So I'm just going to go around in a circle. There we go. Okay, now you just let that dry. We're going to get ready for the next step, which is pull out our mushroom. Okay, take a mushroom, and we're going to pull until we get this part right off. Okay. Just be careful not to poke yourself. These aren't, specifically meant to come apart. Okay, so here we go. I have one. All right, put the other ones to the side for now. One way to make this little guy is to make lips on here, right? And if you're doing this one, I suggest making lips. Would be really cool. If you wanted to go ahead and make one with teeth, you're going to need to carefully cut into this and open up the mouth. So I'm going to do the one actually with the lips right now. Okay, so use your hot glue to create the foundation of the lips so it'll stick out a little bit. And it fills in that hole nicely. And I think this one will look good with this particular bucket. So this is going to be the one with the pretty lips. So I have one here. I'm going to cut that one and show you how to cut that to get that ready. Oh! Okay. And that one I'm going to use, say, for, one like this. That'll be fun. And that one I'm going to have teeth. Now, in order to make the teeth, you'll probably need to buy some foam if you really want to go with the teeth approach. I have some leftover foam from a different project. But yeah, just some white foam. You can get sheets of white foam, like 8.5 by 11 at Michael's. Okay, so I'll just put that to the side for now. This little guy has to dry. So now we're going to go ahead and make one with teeth. In order to do that, we're going to need to cut this open so that he has a mouth. Okay, so we're going to cut it in a wedge. Okay, here we go. I'm shaking the table, sorry about that. Basically cutting it kind of like a triangle wedge. Okay, do your best. I'm going to make it mouth shaped right. The next thing is you're going to go ahead and use a wooden dowel, and you're going to cut the length that you want. So I have my wooden dowel, and I have some scissors, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut very carefully and kind of twist it around, so that way it's just slowly going through this piece of wood, and eventually it's going to go through enough where I can kind of just bend it back and forth, and then it'll break off. Voila. All right, now we stick it in this little dude. Okay, and bam. There we go. And I'll probably add a little bit of hot glue to reinforce it, but then after that, you're just going to go ahead and stick it into whichever bucket you like. Here I have one that's already in a bucket, ready and hot glued, so just reinforced around here. and then a little bit around the neck. And so I'm going to go ahead and paint. Paint a little disposable paint palette. Makes things a little easier for me. English Ivy Green. So I'm going to put that on here. And I got a paintbrush. And then I just start painting him all over. Bam. It's such a great color. I love it. Check that out. It's already looking planty. Get a little bit extra light. All right. So you could do one coat. You could do two coat. The interesting thing about one coat is you can see it makes these kind of interesting streaks. I don't know. It gives it a little bit of texture. I think it's kind of neat that way. And we're going to actually paint the wood. So this becomes his stem. Look at that. Nice and easy. Right. Alrighty, so I have two little plants started here, and decided to paint the inside of his mouth green and then go over it with red. It just helps it stand out. Well, it helps it blend a little bit better. I tried painting it red first and it was just too bright. So I need to do green and then the red. But now it's wet. So I'm going to show you my next step with this one, the one with the lips. Cool, huh? So that one's actually dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mix up some colors here. All right, so we have some bright red. Okay, and I'm going to use that. And I'm going to use my color shift purple for the lips. So if I mix those two together, I get a color about like that. So that works really nice. I guess I didn't really need that much. But anyway, I'm just going to mix it. I could have used a brush to mix it, but that's all right. I had this little stick. So it needs a little bit more purple. I don't need that much, so I'm going to just do it on the side here. Oh, I just love the sheen. It's going to be shiny, which is so cool. It makes me think of lipstick, which is what these lips are going to look like. Much better. So this edge is about the right color. So we'll go with that one. Yay. Okay, good. So now, get my brush. And I'm just going to paint on the lips. Bam. And really lay it down there. Okay. Can you see that? Yeah, okay, good. And it kind of ends up looking kind of like an enamel, which is kind of cool. Some really cool lipstick going. And then once you get it how you like, just set it aside to dry. All right, that's pretty good. And then I'll also paint the inside red, but since the inside's still a little damp, I'm going to start off with the outside. So you just paint your little dude how you want. I mean, you could do any colors you want. Get crazy, get funky. These are just two ideas that I have that I'm going with. Could always do other things. Alrighty, these little guys have dried. So this is the carnivorous plant that has the green head with the mouth open, and he's got a red inside mouth. And this is my other one that I did not open the mouth. And what I did is I took a hot glue gun just on the front and I layered it up to make it look like lips. So that 3D lip effect is actually just hot glue. I made a lip shape, waited for it to dry, and then I just went back and added more if I needed to. Here's another one. This one is not as prominent, but that's okay. So yeah, basically just use hot glue and then paint over it. So again, I got some grass from Michael's. It was just a little bit better quality than the dollar store grass. And when I do it, I suppose you could have measured it ahead of time by, flipping this over before you put your guy in it and measuring it. But I just winged it in my previous ones. I'm just going to wing it again. Seems to work out okay. Just eyeball it and then trim as needed. What we're going to need to do is just cut a little hole or a little slit, right? And then just like a little hole where his stem is going to go through. Bam. There's a little hole. Can you see that? Yeah, just a little hole and a slit. So then you just slide it in. And then you cut off anything that's just a little bit too big. See, it worked out all right. I didn't have to measure it. So I'm just going to cut off the little edge just a bit. So all I got to do now is use a little bit of hot glue. And I'm going to put that down in there. And then we're going to do his teeth. Okay, the next step is to go ahead and start adding teeth. As you can see, I started putting them in. What I do is I put a little drop of glue. Okay, then I use my tweezers to pick up one of those small teeth, and then I place it in there. It takes a while, it's a little tedious, but you should be pretty cute. So you just keep doing that until he looks the way you like. Okay? Alrighty. Bam. Okay, so then we just keep going. I'm going to put him to the side because it's going to take a while, and I just want to show you how to do the plant leaf part. So, yep, that'll take a while. We're going to put that little guy to the side. All right, so you have to find some leaves from plants. So I pulled apart some plants from the dollar store. This one had some orange stuff on it, but I thought these shiny leaves would be perfect for this one because this one already looks kind of glam with her shiny lips. So this is what I'm going to use for this little guy. Okay, so I'm just going to, I pulled it off and I'm going to cut into this whole area. And my plan is to wrap it around like so and glue it in. Okay, and then we have like these little sprigs from the dollar store. Okay, so I have my glittery sprigs of different colors and it's perfect. This is pink, so I'm going to cut off a few pieces of that. Okay, I'm going to add those. All right. So yeah, you're just going to decorate them how you like now at this point. Some of them you could add different paint colors to it, right? You could make it how you like. So this is the fun creative part where well, actually it's all creative, but this is a fun part where you get to decide what you want your little plant to look like. Okay, so these are a little tricky because you have to try and poke them. You can either try and poke them into the styrofoam or glue them onto your little guy. So it can be a little tricky. You'll have to mess with it so you get it how you like. And just reinforce each thing with a bit of glue. Have fun. Alrighty, so here's all the plants I made. I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions on how I made specific things or specific ones, let me know. Welcome to The Life Authentic. If you like this video, click subscribe, give it a like, and hit the bell to get notifications.